Hey everyone, Shabby Gamer here, and welcome to week number 2 of our Monday Night Raw roster. I got much to tell you really to start this episode off. We've got SummerSlam in a few weeks' time. We're still building towards that, but we know what our matches are effectively going to be. We're sticking to sort of real life matches. We're sticking with the real life sort of feuds up until SummerSlam, and then we'll veer off in our own little direction. SummerSlam is only in a few days' time. As soon as we get through to that, I should be able to download an accurate version of the Universal Championship, because we don't know what it looks like as yet, so that'd be pretty handy to get that done. But I'm going to try and get through this Universe mode a little bit quicker. It was mentioned by, I think it was Will Time Gaming earlier on, that it'd be great if we could get through to WrestleMania by the release of 2K17. I'm not promising anything, but I would love to do that myself. We're in August, so we've only got 3 months left, so we shouldn't be too difficult, really, because we've only got 3 months left of this year, haven't we? 4 months if you include August, and then 3 months of next year. So I'm sure we can probably whiz through some of it, but not if I keep babbling on like this. Anyway, let's have a look at the card for tonight's episode of Superstars. So we're going to start things off with 2 former members of the Social Outcasts as Curtis Axel takes on Bo Dallas. Then we're going to see a match between 2 guys that could potentially be part of our new Cruiserweight division on Raw when we get that kicked in, Kofi Kingston and Sin Cara. And then our main event for Superstars is going to be Sheamus taking on Jack Swagger. So let's skip through these 3 matches. So Bo Dallas loses to Curtis Axel. Good win for Axel. Sin Cara picks up the win over Kofi Kingston, one half of the tag team champions. That's an interesting one. And then Jack Swagger picks up the win over Sheamus. Another quite interesting match as well. So some pretty interesting results there. Let's get straight into Monday Night Raw and see if the interesting results carry on. And here we are moving into our card for Raw. Now, I took a few suggestions last week, and we did mention it on the episode as well. We have created a jobber this time for Braun Strowman to take on. It should be a little bit easier than his match last week. We have got, of course, here Tovey. I wonder how he's going to get on here tonight. I shouldn't imagine too well. In our second match, we have Sasha Banks taking on Alicia Fox. Of course, Sasha Banks, the current women's champion here on Raw. We'll be defending the belt at SummerSlam against Charlotte, so it'll be interesting to see if Alicia can do anything to stunt the momentum of Sasha Banks before then. Then we're going to have a tag team match here between the New Day and the Club. Of course, this is a match that will be taking place at SummerSlam for the tag team championships as well. Then we've got the Shining Stars taking on the Golden Truth. Titus O'Neil takes on Sami Zayn. Roman Reigns takes on Rusev. And Chris Jericho takes on Cesaro. So we're going to watch, what are we going to watch here today? I think we're going to watch 4 matches, I think, because I should imagine this match will be very, very quick. So we'll watch, obviously, Tovey versus Braun Strowman. Watch the 2 rivalry matches, and then I think we'll definitely skip this one, which is a win for Golden Truth. Good for them. We're going to skip Sami Zayn versus Titus O'Neil. Good win there for Sami Zayn. I'd like to push him towards the United States Championship at some point as well. And I think he'll also be quite a big face in the Cruiserweight division as well. And then we're caught between these 2 matches here. Now I'm going to lean towards Jericho versus Cesaro here, because I think we are going to do Reigns versus Rusev for the United States Championship at some point, probably the week before SummerSlam, so we'll skip that one. And it was a win for Roman Reigns over the United States Champion, which of course is going to make him the #1 contender now. So that leaves us with 4 matches to watch. We're going to start things off here with Tovey taking on Braun Strowman. Then we've got Sasha Banks versus Alicia Fox, the Club versus the New Day, and Chris Jericho versus Cesaro. So let's get straight into our first match. And there is confirmation of our first match. Tovey makes his debut here as a jobber, of course, to take on Braun Strowman. And here we go. We are Nashville, Tennessee here for this episode this evening. And here we are straight away. Tovey looks... I don't know if he looks confident or not really. I don't think you can be that confident with a guy the size of Braun Strowman coming after you, but... well, I suppose the guy's getting paid a chunk of money, so he's quite happy. He's just got to take a beating, really, hasn't he? Well, I'm not going to say we're hoping for him to take a beating, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, I'm sort of hoping the game gives us a result that we want to see. Obviously, we discussed last week about jobbers. I made a couple of job matches, and they didn't go entirely to plan. Of course, the New Day lost to the Shining Stars, which is a bit of a shocker. Then Braun Strowman struggled against... Who did he face off against? Was it like Bo Dallas or someone like that? I can't remember what it was now. but he struggled against him, and then Seth Rollins in the main event finally picked up the victory, but again, he struggled so much to get the win. But of course, what I've done is I've created a jobber-style character and give them very low stats. So I'm assuming that this might work a bit better. And here is Braun Strowman. I must admit, I quite like this new Braun Strowman core. It looks a lot better than what it did before when we had the one with the Wyatt family in our last Universe Mode series. It looks a lot more better. I think the new hairstyle definitely helps as well, and it didn't look like he's wet himself this time. Because that strange dark... I know he had it in real life. He had that big dark patch in his crotch, but it just seemed so odd. It looked really weird, but it's good to see he's going to be on 2K17 as well as an actual character, so that's one less downloaded wrestler we're going to have to get. And I'm quite intrigued by Braun Strowman. I know he's had a lot of heat since he debuted as just a big man that Vince wants to push, but at the same time, I think he's actually starting to get better in the ring. He's really selling the Beast sort of heel image quite well. And I wonder what they will do with him eventually. I'm intrigued by the possibility of a Braun Strowman-Brock Lesnar feud, which has been rumoured. I don't know if it would work or not, but I'm intrigued by it anyway. So let's put it on fast momentum, because that's what it's going to be, isn't it, really? Straight away, Braun Strowman just picking PJ Tovey up into a backbreaker. And straight away, PJ Tovey's understanding that taking this match might have got him a few quid and might have got him on national television, but I don't necessarily think it was the wisest thing to do. He's trying to get a hold of Braun Strowman, but getting pushed away. Managed to get a good right hand in there and gets another one as well. And every time he tries to get a hold of Braun, Braun just pushes him away. Now Braun brings him into the middle of the ring. Oh, big scoop slam, just launching PJ Tovey. And I think he's going to struggle here, Tovey. He's now struggling to get back up to his feet already. Slaps away the right hand though, does well. Catching Braun Strowman and taking him against the ropes. If PJ Tovey could pull off something here, that'd be incredible. He'd probably get himself a contract and... well, it'd be amazing. I think we might keep this guy around. I've just spent a bit of time making this core, and I'm thinking we're going to need jobbers on all of our rosters, really. So I think we'll keep him around. I might create someone else as well, just to have as a second jobber, so we can job to some tag teams potentially, and obviously a female jobber as well would be quite good. Someone to face off against the likes of Nia Jax, maybe on Raw next week. I quite like the idea, actually. As soon as I had it last week, it sort of tweaked in my mind that'd be a better thing to do, rather than just trying to job to some people like Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel and Fandango, because they always pull off victories somehow. But PJ Tovey's struggling here. He really is, and I think Braun Strowman's going to make quick work of this match. Which is why we've gone for 4 matches in this episode rather than the normal 3, because I think this one's going to be a short one, people. I don't know. Oh, PJ Tovey with a big boot there. I'm surprised he can get his leg up that high. And an uppercut as well, and Braun Strowman's shaken, but he comes back with a big right hand of his own. And a big one to the gut as well. And just flattening PJ Tovey with that further big right hand. Oh, picks him up by the throat. There's a choke slam as well by Braun Strowman into the pin. This could be it, really. No. It was almost a free count, but PJ Tovey kicks out. How's he done that? And he's back up to his feet as well. This poor guy does not know when to give up. Bobby, he rams Braun Strowman's face into his knee, and all of a sudden Tovey has Strowman down and working on the leg. We do know from research done on Tovey, he does like to utilise the cloverleaf as a finishing manoeuvre. That could be why he's working on that knee and the lower leg of Braun Strowman. And now just slamming his head against the mat as well. And PJ Tovey experiencing some offense here, but it didn't last for too long, did it? It's Braun Strowman tripping Tovey down now, and Strowman stalking the grounded Tovey. Boot to the gut, takes him up, and lands him flat on his face. And that is surely game, set, match for PJ Tovey. Pinned by Strowman, 1, 2, and 3. And that is enough for Braun Strowman to pick up the victory here. And to tell the truth, apart from a little bit of offense that PJ Tovey had in the middle, I think it was always looking like this was a likely result, wasn't it, really? So I think that definitely worked, if you ask me. I think creating this jobber character definitely worked, and it's going to help us put some people over, because it has been stated since the draft split that WWE would like to sort of initiate more jobber matches, more sort of squash matches, to help put over certain talent. And I think I think we're going to find a couple here that we can use quite often. I don't want to really use real wrestlers because we're just putting people down that we want to try and build up. Because people like Bo Dallas and Fandango and Tyler Breeze, if given the right platform, could really excel. So by creating these fake people, in inverted commas, and we're really starting to be able to use someone to elevate other people on the roster. Like I say, PJ Tovey is not going to be a permanent member. We'll keep him around. I'm sure he might pop up again, maybe on an episode of SmackDown or in NXT. I can see him being destroyed by Samoa Joe at some point. I'm sure he'd love that. Get him some more of a payday anyway. Why not? And here is match number 2 of the evening. It's going to be Sasha Banks, the women's champion here on Raw, taking on Alicia Fox. And here we go. So a chance to see Sasha Banks in this new universe mode as well. Again, another woman who has been announced for 2K17. There's quite a lot of women on 2K17 have been announced now. Quite a few new ones as well. Of course, we've got the downloadable content from this year. So Lita and Trish have both been announced. We've got all the same divas that are on the game. I hate the word divas. I'm going to use them because that's what they're referred to in the game. We've got the same women that are on the game this year. Alundra Blaze is in there as well, of course. But we have now got Charlotte. We've got Sasha Banks. We're going to have Becky Lynch as well. I've got no doubt that'll be announced. That has been announced this week, hasn't it? Bayley, I'm pretty sure, is going to get announced pretty soon as well. Alexa Bliss and Dana Brooke have already been announced, so they're brand new. So I can see there being quite a few women on this game. I think somebody mentioned there was like 17 or 18 on the game already. Then once you add the likes of Bayley to that as well, it's going to be interesting. I think we've lost a couple. I think Layla will be gone, obviously, from this year. But I think it's going to have a much more in-depth women's roster on next year's game, and that could be a good thing. Alicia Fox, somebody who... she was the women's champion for a little bit, wasn't she? I'm sure she was. Wasn't she the first African-American female to win a major women's championship in America or something like that? I seem to recall something along them sort of lines. I might be wrong. She isn't too bad, actually. I always sort of painted with a bad brush. I always thought that she was just another one of these women that were just there for her looks and not necessarily ability. But watching the women's match they had at WrestleMania, was it like Total Divas versus just the other women on the roster? And I must admit, she surprised me with some of her athletic ability. She really pulled off some moves that I just really was not expecting to come out from her. However, I think that Sasha Banks here against Alicia Fox might be a little bit too much. Sasha, of course, will be defending that women's championship at SummerSlam against Charlotte. She's currently in a feud with Charlotte, and obviously we may see Charlotte at some point here this evening. You never know. Alicia now sending Sasha across the... Why is the traffic so loud around my ear? I bet you can hear that motorbike going past, can't you? I've got to sit with the window open because it's so bloody hot at the moment. Anyway, I think it's gone now. Sasha now just wrenching at the arm of Alicia Fox. So yeah, it's great to have these extra people on the game. Of course, I've been through this so many times now, but if you think about having the likes of... obviously, as we just said, the females earlier on, we've got... AJ Styles has been confirmed now. We know we've got Braun Strowman. We know we've got Shinsuke Nakamura, Apollo Crews as well. We've got Nia Jax. So we're already taken away like 20 of the people that I've had to download this year. So it's going to give us a lot more space to really play around with in the core section, which I'm really looking forward to. I'm sure we'll find people to download, don't get me wrong. I'm sure there'll be lots of them. Because I'm sure that 2K will miss some, because you can guarantee people like the Authors of Pain debuted too late. Bobby Roode, of course, as well. Both of those would have been debuted far too late, so we'll have to download them, I would imagine. But it's going to be interesting to see what they do downloadable content-wise as well. Because they're giving us so much of the current roster and NXT, I can imagine the DLC is going to have to be more legend-based, I would imagine. Unless they're going to have another NXT DLC based on people that weren't quite at the top level of NXT at the time. So, I don't know, it'd be interesting to see, because at BN you've got people like Oni Lorcan, who didn't really make his debut until recently, so he won't be on there. The ones I'm interested in are Gargano and Ciampa, because they're not officially signed with WWE, but they have been working the tapings now for over a year, so it'd be interesting to see if they end up getting put on the game. I don't think they're going to, because they're not officially signed, but at the same time, would have been amazing. but you never know. Ember Moon, of course, as well. She'll be an interesting one. We'll have to download her, I'd imagine, because she makes her debut at NXT TakeOver, which obviously happened a couple of days ago. I'm not going to talk about the results because I'm recording this a few days beforehand and I've got no idea what the results were. So Alicia Fox now sending Sasha Banks to the outside. Brings her back up to her feet, and I'm really looking forward to 2K17 now, actually. I think the roster so far looks to be one of the best they've had, only because they're actually been more in depth with what they've got at the moment, and I'm expecting to see a lot more NXT names over the next few weeks based on the artwork of the NXT edition of the game that I have purchased. Both guys are the Revival are on there. I'll imagine American Alpha has to be on the game, surely. And don't tell me American Alpha are going to end up being downloadable content, whatever you do. The thing is, you can't tell with 2K, really, because if you're going to get someone like Alexa Bliss straight away, which don't get me wrong, I'm very happy about getting Alexa Bliss straight away, but if you're going to get someone like Alexa Bliss who has literally only just moved up to the main roster recently and only ever looked like moving up to the main roster recently with a roster split, if she's on the game permanently, yet guys like Apollo Crews, who have been at the top end of NXT now for quite some time, is downloadable content, then it makes you wonder, doesn't it? It makes you wonder about what the what 2K have really got in mind. I wouldn't be surprised if American Alpha come out as DLC. I'm hoping they don't. I'm hoping we get them straight away, but I'm hoping that I'd rather have them as DLC than not on the game at all. I'll say that. But I think the Revival are going to be on there because they're on the NXT artwork. I think Bayley's on the NXT artwork, as is Asuka as well. Asuka has to be on the game. Should be amazing if she was on the game as well. Sasha there with the snapmare into the dropkick to the face of Naomi. Not Naomi, sorry, what am I thinking about? Sorry, I was just remembering what Sasha Banks' entrance was. Quick roll up there by Banks on Alicia Fox. Oh, almost got the free count there as well. Fox managed to kick out. That's one. Obviously, Cameron will be gone now. So Cameron and Layla are two women that will definitely be off the game. Not really two big losses, are there, really? Fox now taking Sasha Banks over the top there. Little collegiate wrestling style move there now. Sasha Banks has Alicia Fox by the hair, dragging it around the ring. Oh, look at that big chop. That was quite high as well. That was straight across the face of Sasha. And Alicia trips over her own feet there and collapses to the ground as she's running towards the far barricade. Referee's up to a 5 count. Sasha Banks does slide back in now, and as does Alicia in the 6 count. Alicia Fox taking Sasha straight away. Sit out, scoop slam. Try saying that if you've got a lisp. Alicia Fox now pulling Sasha away from the ropes. And I'm hoping they change a few of these animations and the way the games work, because sometimes they just don't look right. And that was a great little handspring leg drop there by Alicia Fox. Is it going to be enough here to keep the champion Sasha Banks down? No, it's not. It's only a 2 count. Fox now sending Sasha down, brings her back up to her feet. But Sasha fighting back with the right hand to the kidneys. And now a forearm to the face. But again, Alicia catching Sasha Banks against the ropes. Over the top she goes. Holding on for dear life, but Alicia Fox joining Sasha Banks on the outside. Oh no, spiked DDT on the apron by Alicia Fox on Sasha Banks. And if Alicia can get Sasha back in the ring here, she could potentially pull this one off, you know. But Alicia looking to continue the assault here. She really wants to send a message here. She wants to show the rest of the women's division here on Raw that she has what it takes to be a women's champion here again. I think we saw Alicia Fox win the championship in one of our previous universe. Might have been the first universe mode, maybe. Sasha Banks, there's the backbreaker, the bank statement. Of course, she doesn't lock in the submission on this game. She goes to the pin. Hopefully the submissions are going to get better on next year's game. She drops into the pin now. It's taken quite some time. Can Alicia kick out? Yes, she can. Just Sasha took too long to drop into the pin there. clubbing blow against the back there by Sasha Banks on Alicia Fox, bringing her back up to her feet. What can Sasha do to finish Alicia off? She's already hit the patented backstabber. Great Lucha Libre style arm drag there by Sasha Banks as well. Now dropping into a pin once again. Is this going to be enough? The straw that broke the camel's back. It is. Well, it wasn't the most impressive of finishes, but either way, Sasha Banks, the women's champion here, successfully continues to build momentum against... here we go. This is the woman that will be facing her for the championship a few weeks' time at SummerSlam. There is Charlotte, showing that she wants to get her championship back, and Sasha's determined not to let her have it back. I'd be so glad when these two women are on the game properly, because these cores are good, but at the same time, just look at Sasha's face from this angle. It doesn't look very good, does it really? Poor girl, she's got a big gap between her front two teeth in this picture as well, hasn't she? Oh well. 2K17, we can't wait to see the fantastic graphics you're going to give us. And here is our next match of the evening. It's going to be the Tag Team Champions, The New Day, taking on the Club, Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson. And here we go. The game's doing very well here. We've managed to stay in the same location for 3 matches so far this evening. And here come the New Day. Of course, Kofi Kingston, fresh off of a loss from Superstars against Sin Cara. That's not going to help the momentum very much at all of the New Day, is it really? And if you haven't seen it, 2K recently released a video of the New Day's new entrance for 2K17. Looks pretty good. It starts off with Big E's sort of voiceover, and they're wearing the blue and pink attire as well that they now wear, I think, and they've all got the unicorn horns on, and of course Xavier Woods also comes out with Francesca and plays the old trombone. Is it the trombone? I think it's a trombone. On his way down to the ring as well, so that's pretty cool to see. You can really see the difference. And still, as you can tell, I haven't changed New Day to face as of yet. They are... I don't know, I thought they might be better as a heel, actually, but they are the face in this feud here between themselves, obviously, in Gallows and Anderson, the Club. I tell you what, I've recently been watching Raw, and these two have been absolutely hilarious. Watching Dr. Gallows and Dr. Anderson talking about ring post-itis has been fantastic. I thought it was really funny, that was, and I think these two cores are actually fantastic as well. These are brand new ones. We didn't use these in our previous universe mode. These are ones that have been put on the community creation since they debuted in WWE, and I think there's definitely an upgrade. Both faces look fantastic. The attires are spot on as well. We've managed to get rid of all the Bullet Club stuff that was all over him as well, which makes him look a little bit more realistic now. So this is going to be interesting. One of these two teams is right. Yep. I got mixed up there between the word is and are. One of these two teams is going to pick up some extra momentum here. They can move on to SummerSlam with. And I must admit, of recent, I know we're in the second episode now, but based on last week's results when the New Day lost to the Shining Stars, and the result of Kofi Kingston losing to Sin Cara earlier on Superstars, I think the Club could be in with a very good chance of winning this one. Especially if Gallows and Anderson can pick up another victory here. Not only are they going to further stunt the momentum of the New Day, but also pick up some extra momentum for themselves, which is going to be fantastic. And I think this is going to work pretty well for us. Big power slam there by Doc Gallows, and so far, Xavier Woods has barely got any... Xavier Woods has got barely any offense here. And as I was trying to get my words out there, Xavier Woods got some offense. I think I might have to create PJ Tovey a tag team partner just so we can have just so we can start to bring some more of the tag teams back up a level really, and potentially have the New Day pick up a bit more momentum by picking up a couple of easy victories over some dodgy tag teams. We can use other tag teams as well. We've always got, of course, down on NXT, we've got Sawyer Fulton and the other guy, whatever his name is. What was his name? I don't know his name. I can't remember what his name is, but we could always use them. We could bring them in for an episode of Raw at some point. Oh, great teamwork there. Carl Anderson completely missed the drop kick, and Luke Gallows. No, it is Luke Gallows now, isn't it? Luke Gallows sending Carl Anderson high up in the air and dropping down. Can you imagine what WWE must think sometimes when they look at the people they released? Can you imagine they thought, bloody hell, look what's happened to Festus. He was terrible when we had him. We had him as Festus, and then we had a very intelligent way. I actually quite impressed by the way that WWE took Festus away from Jesse and Festus as the tag team and moved him into the Straight Edge Society by saying that obviously as Festus he was the way he was because he was off his face on drugs all the time. I thought that was a really clever way of doing it. But even then they never really gave Luke Gallows a real chance. But now I think he's come back to prove just how good he is, and Carl Anderson as well. Both these guys together, an incredible tag team, and I think they're going to have a great run in the WWE for a long time now. I honestly think these two guys are going to walk out of SummerSlam with the tag team championships, and I've just realised I've just said that, and basically by the time I've uploaded this, SummerSlam would have already happened, wouldn't it? So I'm going to go out on a limb and say I can't believe how great it is to finally see the club as the tag team champions. I'm going out there, I'm going to say it, and I hope it's true, because I think I like the New Day. There was a point where I couldn't stand them when they first started. I couldn't stand them when they first started at all. But then they grew on me quite a lot, and I actually started to really like them. Around about the WrestleMania time, I was a big fan. But now I think it's getting a little bit tedious. It's getting a little bit samey every single week. The same things over and over and over and over again. And I'm getting a little bit bored of them, especially now they've dominated the tag team division. I think by the time SummerSlam comes round, or obviously it's already happened for you guys, but by the time SummerSlam comes round, I think they would have been champions for a full year, full 365 days, and I think it's about time somebody else had the opportunity to hold those belts, and I think Gallows and Anderson would be great to hold those belts, although I think those little tiny stupid round belts would look really stupid on Gallows and Anderson, but I'm sure they'll be happy nonetheless to have them. The crowd are chanting for Kofi Kingston. He could do with it basically, because he's not had the best of times so far, as he's losing on Superstars to Botch Kara. Snake Eyes there by Luke Gallows. I'm still trying to get used to calling these people the right names. Luke Gallows, not Doc Gallows, Luke Gallows. Kofi gets on the back of Carl Anderson now and spins him round into a Hurricane Rana. Now I must admit, Carl Anderson, he's a fantastic singles competitor as well. If you've ever watched a lot of New Japan, around about the G1 Climax time, Carl Anderson often got an opportunity in the G1 Climax Festival, and he really did put on some fantastic singles matches. I think a lot of people in New Japan are sort of underrated, and they're very good wrestlers. I think Tama Tonga is one of them who, obviously now, with Gallows, Anderson and AJ Styles and Nakamura all leaving, Tama Tonga has been given much more of an opportunity now, alongside obviously his adopted brother in Tangaroa, or Camacho from WWE if you will. And that's another example. That's exactly what happened to Luke Gallows, isn't it really? He wasn't utilised very well. He left the company, went away and made a star of himself. Look at Camacho now. Camacho's one half of the New Japan IWGP Tag Team Champions. It just shows what other companies can do with people, doesn't it really? And it's the same with WWE though, because I had this discussion today with a friend of mine, and we were saying about how TNA didn't really know what to do with AJ Styles. They put him in these stupid little feuds that meant nothing with anybody, and then Samoa Joe, they didn't really do much with Samoa Joe at all either. And you look at WWE now, and we're going to see AJ Styles in one of the main events of SummerSlam taking on John Cena. We're going to see Samoa Joe defending his NXT Championship against Shinsuke Nakamura. It just shows that TNA just did not know what to do with these people, and WWE have really utilised them. And it swings and roundabouts, isn't it really? Like I said, the same things happened. Oh wow. Big spike there by Carl Anderson, who's now lining Kofi Kingston up. We know that Anderson likes to utilise that running knee strike to the face, and he hits it perfectly. Drops into a pin. 1, 2. Gallows completely flattens Xavier Woods with the STO, but Kofi Kingston kicked out. Overcastle there now by Carl Anderson, and the club are in full control of this one now. Carl Anderson, he likes to also utilise the Ace Crusher as well. And there he is. He hits the Ace Crusher perfectly into the pin once again. Again, no, Gallows couldn't quite catch a hold of Xavier Woods that time. He was a little bit more on top of it, Xavier Woods, and Gallows sending Woods now right to the outside. Big neck breaker now by Carl Anderson, and Kofi Kingston's in trouble here. He needs to get out of the ring as soon as he can. Carl Anderson now going up high. Doesn't often utilise the high flying manoeuvres, and he dives straight into the Trouble in Paradise kick there. But right in front of Gallows, he breaks at the pin straight away. What a fantastic minute or so of this match we've just had. We've seen some real high-flying manoeuvres. We've seen a Trouble in Paradise on Carl Anderson, the running knee strike on Kofi Kingston, and the Ace Crusher. Anderson again, once again with a pin. And again, Gallows takes out Xavier Woods pretty well, but Kofi Kingston just enough left in the locker to kick out after a 2. Gallows now sending Xavier Woods to the outside once again as Anderson just slowing the pace of the match down, trying to regain a little bit of energy, trying to regroup and decide his next plan of offense. Gallows again has just destroyed Xavier Woods on the outside, who's now back up to his feet. Big knee once again to the face by Carl Anderson. And a big kick to the back as well. I'm hoping Anderson and Gallows are going to be on 2K17. I can't imagine why they wouldn't be, but you never know. Again, it wouldn't surprise me if Gallows and Anderson ended up being downloadable content. Can you imagine if they did some sort of like downloadable content, like an NWO versus the Club, and you got Gallows and Anderson, and you got some NWO based people. You could get Hollywood Hulk Hogan and NWO Nash, NWO Hall, maybe an NWO Macho Man, and there's a possibility of a potential downloadable content. That'd be interesting. I'd love to see some sort of like classic ECW one where you got Rob Van Dam, Sabu, the Sandman, and Raven, Tommy Dreamer. People like that would be fantastic. Maybe like an old school Dudley Boys as well. That'd be pretty cool. There's the pin once again now by Gallows, but Anderson was too slow across the ring. And Kofi Kingston has to tag out to Xavier Woods at some point. He's really struggling here. The Club have dominated this match for a large portion. Gallows now taking Kofi Kingston up high. And this is only ever going to end badly for Kofi Kingston. Gallows, superplex. Kofi is down. And Gallows still not finished. Brings him back up to his feet. Just choking him there. Both hands into a front choke slam. Drops into a pin. And again, just Kofi quickly, Xavier quickly across the ring. And I've said this before about the tag team matches on 2K15. I think they were better because their partners were a little bit more smart with what they did. If a partner saw the illegal man was using their finishing maneuver, like right now, Carl Anderson would have come in the ring and tried to take Xavier Woods off the apron, but now he does catch him. And again, how was Kofi Kingston kicking out of all of this? Kofi's been absolutely destroyed here, yet he's kicking out of everything. And either way, the Club have absolutely destroyed the New Day here. I'd be surprised if Kofi Kingston can make it to SummerSlam after this beating that he's receiving. Kofi spinning Luke Gallows round. A back rake, is that the best offense that Kofi can mount at this point in time? No, a snap suplex as well on Luke Gallows. If Kofi can get across and make the tag, he has to do it because he's taken so much damage in this one. And it looks like he is going to get across, and he does bring in Xavier Woods. Maybe a lifeline for the New Day here. Xavier Woods comes in now, sending Luke Gallows straight into the corner, taking him up onto that top turnbuckle. And the bigger they are, the harder they fall. And Luke Gallows is a big, big man. And there's the impact. Look at that. The strength being shown off there by Xavier Woods, a real surprise. Oh, I was about to say, really. Yeah. I was almost stunned right there because there's no way on earth What a jackhammer there by Luke Gallows on Xavier Woods. There's no way on earth that New Day deserved to win this match, and that jackhammer there by Luke Gallows could be enough. A big splash as well on Xavier Woods. There's the pin. Oh, running neckbreaker. And again, they're kicking out of everything. How are the New Day doing this? I cannot believe how the New Day are just living through this incredible beating here by the club. It's just incredible. I'm just stunned by how they're even surviving. You know what? I'm going to go out there now and just say it right now. I'm sure the club are going to be downloadable content. As much as I would love to get them straight away, I'm sure they're going to be downloadable content. Straight away. So something with Carl Anderson just seems very, very slow across the ring compared to the rest of them to break these things up. Kofi with a quick roll up now. But of course, Kofi's not the legal man, so it's a bit pointless really. As Carl Anderson just destroying Xavier Woods. Carl Anderson now leaving the ring. Luke Gallows just staring Kofi Kingston down, and Gallows needs to pay attention to what's happening here. Xavier Woods just catching him. I don't know what Gallows was doing there. Wow, he really sold that, didn't he, Gallows? Fired up in the air, and Xavier Woods now bringing Luke Gallows back up to his feet. I don't think we're ever going to end this match by the looks of it, are we? And that's the thing, there's just not enough good teamwork on this game to really make tag team matches end in a suitable way. There's a big ending there. See, there we go. That's what you need to see. That's what you need to see. Xavier Woods just comes firing across the ring and takes Carl Anderson off the apron, stopping him from coming in and breaking it up. But Luke Gallows kicked out. I do not know what is going on in this match. I really don't. We're on fast momentum. There's been so many finishes and all sorts been hit by both teams. Yet the match continues on, but maybe not for too long. After that, is that a boom drop? Is that called? And there you go. The New Day 2 pick up a victory. A victory that I really don't believe they deserve, but they've done it. You can't blame them for that. They've pulled it off. And I'm stunned. I really am stunned. I can't believe they've managed to pull that one off, the New Day. I really can't. Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens at SummerSlam, won't it? Both these teams have shown this evening that this match could really go either way now. The club dominated this match for such a large period of time. I was convinced that they were going to walk out of here easy victors. And New Day turned it round, and like I say, this really could go either way now at SummerSlam. I was pretty much convinced that the club were going to be brand new tag team champions, but now I'm not so sure. This is the running knee strike earlier on. Boom, big one, that knee right in the centre of the face of Kofi Kingston, and how he got out of this, I've got no idea. And you see Gallows comes across so well and taking Xavier Woods out with the STO. And here we see right at the end of the match now, Carl Anderson is down on the outside. Kofi Kingston runs across. There's the boom drop. Carl Anderson just struggling on the outside. He comes back up to the apron, but he just can't get back in the ring in time. He's taken so much damage, he's just too slow at getting across the ring. And the club will not be happy with that at all, but the New Day just showing the resilience they've got, because there's no way that Kofi Kingston should have survived that match. He got absolutely destroyed in this one. But the New Day victorious. And here is our main event of the evening. Chris Jericho takes on Cesaro. And here we go, Nashville, Tennessee for the final match of the evening. We've not seen much of Jericho in our previous Universe modes. He's been a little bit of a forgotten man, but we're going to give him a chance here this evening. And he's going to take on one of my favourites in the form of the Swiss Superman Cesaro. And I must admit, I wasn't expecting this episode to go so long. I thought with the squash match ending pretty quickly, like we expected it to. But the Club versus the New Day match must have gone a good 10-20 minutes, surely. And there he is. He's not Mr. Monday Night, that's not RVD, isn't he? He is Raw is Jericho, I suppose. The whole effing show? No, that's Rob Van Dam as well. Oh well, it's Jericho. I'm surprised Jericho stuck around for so long, actually, because normally he comes back and does a couple of months stint, puts a few people over, then he goes away and does some more of his band stuff with Fozzy, and then he comes back around about SummerSlam time, not SummerSlam, Royal Rumble time, as a surprise entrant in the Rumble, and then moves on to WrestleMania again. I'm surprised he's lasted so long. He's been with us for quite some time, and I'm thankful for that, because some of the matches he put on very early on against AJ Styles were fantastic, and well, AJ Styles puts on a fantastic match all the time, doesn't he? But of course, so does Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho is an outstanding wrestler, and I think the whole thing they've been doing recently up to SummerSlam with Jericho, Owens, Enzo and Cass, you picked 4 of the best mic workers in the company, put them in the ring together. Oh, I tell you, Jericho and Owens together are just so funny. And here he is, Cesaro. A man who I'm hoping does pretty well now. I just don't like the fact he was drafted to Raw. I just think he would have been so much better on SmackDown. He just seems to have been... I'm just worried he's going to get lost in a crowd on Raw. Because obviously they've got their main stars in their mind who they want to utilise at the top of the roster. Your Seth Rollins, your Finn Balor, of course. Your Roman Reigns. And people like that. I mean, there's more, isn't there? There's definitely more. Brock Lesnar. So you've got all of those people, and then you've got that sort of group of people just underneath him. You've got your Kevin Owens, you've got your Cesaro, you've got your Sheamus, you've got your Rusev. The people that you want to see potentially move up into the main part of the card. But unfortunately, I'm hoping he doesn't. He's now locked in with Sheamus in this best for 7 thingamajig, whatever they're doing, which is a little bit of a strange one for me. I just didn't think a best of 7 series was the best way to utilise Sheamus and Cesaro. It seems a little bit odd. They're going to do a best of 7 series, yet the guys have wrestled 2 or 3 times already in the last month. So by the time the best of 7 series is finished, because you know it's going to go to 4-3 as well, and by the time the best of 7 series is finished, it's going to end up with like 10 matches in 2 months between these two guys. It's going to end up getting a little bit boring, I think. But hey ho. Let's see what happens in this one. Both these guys, potential United States champions, and of course in the shape of Cesaro, potential WWE champion as well. Be pretty cool. I would like to see if 2K would allow us to utilise our own cutscenes in 2K17. They've not mentioned anything about that yet. They've mentioned there's a new promo engine, which sounds pretty interesting, where the guys will come out and they'll discuss their current feuds and bits and bobs like that. Of course, it's all going to be text-based, I would imagine, and it's all going to be pretty repetitive at the same time, but at least it adds a little bit more of a dimension to the sort of rivalries and backstage interviews as well, I can imagine, and I like that. And they brought back backstage brawls, which I think could be quite nice. Jericho now, big drop kick to Cesaro on the outside. Referee counting up, and Jericho really utilising the entire environment, but Cesaro catches him in that big clothesline. Cesaro rolls Jericho over, has him up in the gut wrench. Referee's up to a 5 count. Cesaro catches the gut wrench on Jericho and slides back into the ring. Referee's up to a 6. Cesaro potentially trying to win this one by count out. Right, back in the ring now. And again, Cesaro gets behind Jericho. Big German suplex. I do appreciate a good German suplex. There's the pin, but it's not even a 1 count by Jericho. Or on Jericho, should I say. Cesaro now just sending Jericho back of the head first into the mat. Stamping on his back as well, and again rolls him over, and Cesaro missing the kick. Yeah, I've got a feeling that at some point we're going to end up seeing some trades, or maybe I can imagine Survivor Series. They might do Raw versus SmackDown in an old-fashioned Survivor Series match, and maybe the winning brand gets 1 draft steal from the opponent. I think that'd be quite interesting. Or Potentially as well, that you've still got NXT knocking around, and again, I'm recording this episode before NXT TakeOver, but if Samoa Joe was to lose his NXT Championship, for me, it would be potential for him to move up to the main roster as well. I mean, the likes of Samoa Joe, Shinsuke Nakamura and Austin Aries could all potentially move up to the main roster at some point in the near future, just to bolster those main rosters up. And then it also gives more people an opportunity in NXT to make a name for themselves as well, because at the moment there's just so many talented guys in NXT. It's difficult as Jericho grabs a hold of the bottom rope. Great ring awareness by the veteran. And yeah, at the moment it's just difficult for some people in NXT to really make a name for themselves. Like poor guys like Ty Dillinger, who has really improved so much over the last couple of years, yet he still just comes out and jobs to all the new stars. And of course you've got now No Way Jose and Andrade Cien Almas. You've got Bobby Roode making his debut as well, Oney Lorcan. Rich Swann, I'm pretty sure, will come back onto the show at some point. He's just come back from an injury. Any new guys they signed from the Cruiserweight Classic as well. And you sort of realise just how many names they've got. And with the guys like Samoa Joe and Shinsuke Nakamura and Austin Aries, they sort of dominate the top end of the card all the time. And it's going to be difficult for the other ones to really make a name for themselves. So by moving those three guys up, it also allows someone else to show what they can do. And I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the tapings after NXT TakeOver, which I think could probably end up being on like the Monday or the Tuesday, so either tonight or tomorrow. It'd be interesting just to read through them and see if anyone else new debuts, what they sort of do with things as well. There's potential as well of recent with... Oh, look at that code breaker. What a... Just, oh. Oh, I thought he was going to pull it off then. It was only a 2 count. Yeah, there's potential as well with James Storm, who may or may have not left TNA once again. There's a pretty dodgy storyline coming up on TNA pretty soon where James Storm gets suspended indefinitely by a Smashing Pumpkin. And rumour has it that his contract has expired as well. So maybe they couldn't group anything up there, and James Storm was noted saying that he was going to go and see an old friend and maybe form a new alliance. So it makes you wonder if Bobby Roode and James Storm at some point will both be in NXT together, either as Beer Money or feuding, because those two feuding is a pretty damn good show. But them two as a tag team as well would dominate the division. Of course, Ciampa and Gargano look like they're going to be signed up pretty soon. Oh, God. So many launch finish in this match. Jericho launches himself into that very European uppercut, and that could be enough, and it is enough. Cesaro picks up a great victory here over Jericho. Jericho dives straight into the very European uppercut. And it's a great win there by Cesaro. Yeah, I was saying, don't forget we've also got Gargano and Ciampa look to be signing up with WWE pretty soon as well in the next set of signings, which I believe is around about, well, it's around about now really, any time now or even September, we'll find out exactly who WWE have signed up. I'm pretty sure Gargano, Ciampa and Tommy End are going to be three of the names on that next signing, based on stuff we've read and stuff we know already. And Gargano and Ciampa could both potentially go and be top-end main event stars on NXT. They've both got the ability, they've shown that in the ring ability they've got in NXT. And also, the match the pair of them had on the Cruiserweight Classic as well was incredible. But enough of me blabbing about all that sort of stuff. Let's concentrate on the last few parts of this. And this was obviously the launch there by Jericho into a code breaker. And I'm surprised Cesaro kicked out of that one, because that could have knocked him unconscious, really. But it was only enough for a 2 count. See Jericho there with his snake eyes, and then making his way up to the top. But little did he know that Cesaro on the ground there was playing possum, managed to get back up on his feet and catch Jericho with that very European uppercut. Cesaro drops like a sack of spuds. It looks like he may have got a rope break. You can't quite see it behind the turnbuckle pad there, but Jericho may have got the rope break there. But either way, the Swiss Superman Cesaro picks up the victory. He's going to get the momentum, and he's also going to get a boosting in our championship rankings here as well. And somebody who I'd love to see go for the United States Championship at some point here. Anyway, guys, that is the end of this episode of Tuesday, or no, it's Monday Night Raw, isn't it? Now, Monday Night Raw and Superstars, of course. So if you have enjoyed it, then please do hit that like button and let me know. And of course, if you are new around here, be sure to hit that subscribe button as well for a lot more of the WWE 2K16 Universe mode. I've been Shabby Gamer, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. I think our next episode is on Wednesday for NXT.